Alright everybody, welcome back. I'm not very good with making intros, but I am just so happy to say that there's literally 5 episodes of Season 6 left. And again, I still can't get over the fact that it's taken me basically almost 2.5 years just to get Season 6 done. And I still have 3 more seasons of reviews, and like I said, even though MLP is over, well, the show airing on TV in any case, I am not done reviewing MLP, because again, it's taken me this long just to review these episodes. But hopefully my game plan is that if there really aren't any complications with vacation, my game plan is to finish off these last 5 episodes before the summer ends. So as of today, it is July 13th, so at the very least I have till like September 21st. And hopefully, if I don't run into any copyright claims, I can hopefully finally clean my hands of Season 6. But anyways, after last week's disaster, let's get into an episode that I actually really like. This is P.P.O.V, Pony Point of View. I'm sure a lot of my younger members are probably laughing at the PP. So this episode begins with Twilight being overly excited as per usual, as Spike basically asks why, well, she is so excited, well, more than usual.
Pinkie Pie, Rarity, and Applejack are getting back from their SeaWorld show fall trip, and I can't wait to hear all about it. It's such a shame Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy had to miss it for their Cloudsdale Spike School reunion.
Okay, well, at least it's nice to know where Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash are, but why would they want to go to the reunion to ponies that were probably never even likable to them, like, ever? Also, speaking of reunions, I, for one, have not heard of an Irvington High School full class of 2016 reunion, let alone the reunion at Mitchell College, even though we're free to go back up there, you know, fall weekend, and stuff like that, but because of my busy work schedule, I don't have the time to do it. Alright, well, anyways, they basically wait at the train station, and we basically see that Pinkie, Applejack, and Rarity have issues.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about them talking over each other.
Yeah, so it's kind of realistic to see the 3 friends have this kind of issue, as basically Twilight basically wants to invite them over to tea to try to talk out the issues, but instead, Opal, Gummy, and Winona are sent in their place.
Are Pinkie Pie, Rarity, and Applejack with you? Sorry, darling, but I must decline the invitation to your soiree. While I'm sure it will be positively resplendent, there are certain ponies I'd rather not associate with at the moment. Rarity.
The reaction of Twilight basically saying, what is going on right now? Oh.
Rarity's not coming? So I polished my scales for nothing.
I am trying to be delicate about this because I really thought the whole Rarity Spike potential love relationship, I really thought at this point they were past this, honestly. Because, like, every time I see a joke about this, it is not funny. It just makes me want to ask the writers, I thought we were past this. Well, anyways, we pretty much predictably Winona being adorable.
Sorry I can't make it, but I'm still a mite upset about everything that happened on the boat. Applejack. Sorry I can't make the tea party today, but there's a small problem with the guest list. Plus, I'm right in the middle of a very important cupcake.
And I guess because she was so busy in the middle of it that she basically used Gummy as a way to write the letter. Classic Pinkie. So really unsure of why all this is happening, Twilight basically tries to get to the bottom of this as we first go to Rarity.
I'm sorry, but my maid wasn't made to support marine life.
So Twilight and Spike go to Rarity first.
How could I be rude? I don't know, Rarity. Maybe you could throw it away. Yes, I agree. Just another innocent casualty of that disastrous boat trip. About that, Spike and I were wondering what happened out there.
As she makes Spike do all the writing.
Please, darling. I don't know how ever.
Okay, so Rarity being overdramatic as usual basically explains her side of the story, and the first couple of bits is saying that she wanted to get Applejack and Pinky out of their comfort zone.
Surprise them with a heritage cruise. I had brought a small bag with just a few key essentials. All right, honey, prepare yourself for luxury on the high seas. That sounds fun.
Okay, well, as you can tell by the title of the episode, you can tell that this is going to be the same story, just going to be told from different points of view. And Rarity's point of view is that essentially her and Pinky are essentially normal, and Applejack being a pirate. The smile on my face can give limitless possibilities.
The sea air carries a portent for trouble this day. 'Tis a treacherous and perilous journey that lies ahead of us. We sail to adventure, or very doom.
Oh, God. Really, there's a lot of things that I'm really thinking about right now, just from those bits of lines of dialogue. Basically, a pirate with a Western accent like Applejack. I think this is basically kind of the equivalent of Nico Robin from One Piece, her 4Kids dub voice actress. Except here, it actually makes a lot more sense. But yeah, basically fast forwarding through most of this. Basically, Rarity wants to get some land in the games as Pinky brings candy in her story, because she's Pinky.
Oh, Pinkie Pie.
Right? And according to, basically Applejack throws all the food into the ocean.
You had such distaste for cucumbers.
Yar! Har, har, har! Hardy, har, har, har!
That doesn't sound like Applejack. Well, hold on, because it gets even worse. Pink tried to lighten the mood with some fun maritime games.
Yes. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I haven't made any of the Lazy Town "You are a pirate" points. But essentially, basically what it is, through some shenanigans, basically, according to Rarity, Applejack's stubbornness caused the boat to capsize, to crash right into an oncoming wave. Which...
Then what happened? Oh, the boat sank, obviously.
I like how she just says it like so nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, the boat sank, we almost drowned, but it was still her fault. So essentially, Twilight doesn't really get all the few details, and Spike likes to know as much as the audience of how they even got back, but Rarity is too exhausted to figure that out, and she tells to go see Pinky to get her side of the story, and Pinky gets something different.
There was a chance she might have embellished the story just a tad. So we wanted to hear about what happened from you. Did Applejack really capsize the boat? Of course not! That's just silly. There's no way Applejack could sink the boat. I knew it! That's a relief. Because Rarity did!
Huh. It's kind of interesting how Rarity believes that Pinky was the most normal in her interpretation, and yet here Pinky is blaming Rarity for the boat capsizing. It's kind of weird.
What? It all started on the dock. I knew Rarity and Applejack wanted to get out of their element, so I figured I'd throw them the fun.
Yeah. So now we get Pinky's side of the story, where essentially Applejack is the one who is essentially the normal one along with her, and she basically gives Rarity being more excessive of bringing more bachelors to carry her mountains of stuff.
They have all given decadent and extravagant. That sounds fun.
Ahoy, mateys! Batten down the hatches, y'all, 'cause this here's gonna be a boat ride of adventure!
I have this has been such a long time since I've last seen Applejack this overly happy. Yeah, I know it's Pinky's interpretation, but it is kind of a breath of fresh air. But essentially, it's a similar case to what Rarity said in her story, where Pinky tries to liven things up with her bringing in food, and according to her, Rarity throws out all the food. And the same thing as before, essentially Pinky tries to bring into a game, but in her interpretation, Rarity doesn't want to play the games, and basically they fight over the map that crashes into the wave. Pretty much the same thing as before.
And that's why the boat sinking was all Rarity's fault. That seems odd. I mean, we trust you, of course, but it's also extraordinary. Oh, it's extraordinary, all right. But that's exactly what happened. In fact, the only thing I might have gotten wrong was that there were even more quarter ponies. But just to be safe, you should talk to Applejack. She'll know exactly how many quarter ponies there were.
Alright, so before Spike can get into the question of how they even managed to make it back, Pinky basically reacts very funnily to rescuing her cupcakes from burning. And they essentially go to Applejack, who...
Yeah, that'd be great too. Hold on a sec. Pinkie Pie says it's Rarity's fault, and Rarity says I sank the boat? Well, that's plumb crazy. If you two really want to know what happened, I'll tell you. Y'all know how Pinkie Pie and Rarity wanted to get out of their element? Well, I brought a treasure map to give them a rip-roaring seafaring adventure.
I like Spike's... I gotta admit, Spike giving the best reaction, meaning like, ugh, I'm so over this. I still want to know how the hell you even got back when it seems like you crashed into the ocean and it made it sound like you guys almost drowned. Even though Rarity could basically use magic to levitate herself out of the ocean, and Pinkie Pie is, well, Pinkie Pie, don't question it.
But they had other ideas.
So essentially, it's pretty much a combination of both stories, as basically Applejack says that it was both their faults, essentially, and a couple of commonalities. Once again, of the food being capsized.
Oh, it gets a sight worse than that.
And basically the same thing. They try to play a few games, but it basically gets annoying. They fight over the map, and essentially they crash into the wave. Yeah. Now, even though I'm fast forward through a lot of this, a lot of the stuff in the dialogue in those flashback scenes, the over-exaggeration of all three stories does give a really good laugh out of me. So even though I fast forward through most of the stuff and it's mostly the same, it's those kind of overreaction characteristics that definitely makes it worth it.
Wait, so it was Rarity and Pinky's fault?
Yep. And maybe if they ever apologize, I'll consider talking to them again. If they all blame each other, I don't know how we're going to get them to talk again.
Put them in a class trial. It'll definitely only resolve everything.
Neither do I, Spike.
So Twilight basically tries to mull over and figure out what's going on, as she tries to figure out what was all the commonalities between all three stories.
I guess they were on a ship that sank, and that's about it.
Not quite. Aha! Not only do I think I know how the boat sank, I have a pretty good idea how to get Rarity, Applejack, and Pinkie Pie back together.
So essentially, she basically calls them all to the boat, and essentially their first reaction when they see each other is very angry-ish.
You here together, and there really is a friendship emergency. Yours.
Oh, there's no emergency. I'm just waiting for an apology.
An apology? What? Why did you want me to apologize when it was Rarity's fault? Who think you're talking about? Applejack nearly caused the boat to sink. She stranded us in the middle of the ocean.
Will somebody please tell me how you made it back?
I guess I calmed down enough to remember, and basically it turns out that they were in shallow waters and they never left the dock. So that pretty much explains how they were able to get back like that. And I think you also may have noticed that the outfit that Rarity wore didn't really match with any of what the story said. So you would kind of expect Applejack and Pinky to kind of remember what a Rarity wore. But yeah, if they never really gotten that far, it kind of makes you wonder what actually happened, leaving aside the over-dramaticness of each story. It kind of makes you wonder how exactly they did manage to get back. Well, I guess, okay, that's a bad realization. Ah, God, I can't speak tonight. Basically, it makes you wonder what really exactly happened, leaving aside the over-dramatization, and it really makes you want to see what actually happened. If they just sank the boat after going into water for like 5 inches, and then they just sank the boat next to the nearest rock, considering that they hadn't left shallow waters.
Well, maybe it was the middle of the ocean.
Even so, I don't appreciate being hornswoggled into coming back here.
On that case, you're great. Yeah! I know you each have a different perspective on how the boat capsized and blame each other. But if you come on the boat with me, I'll show you what really happened. Well, not that I have any doubts, but we'll do good for every pony to see exactly whose fault it was.
I think we all know which pony is about to be proven right.
We sure do.
Like I said, I sure hope this works.
Well, there's about 5 minutes left in the episode, so while the three each continue to not argue with each other, Twilight basically explains how she was able to figure out the commonalities with all 3 pony stories.
What in the hay does that have to do with anything?
And why would you waste a perfectly good hors d'oeuvre? You also mentioned the bubbling water. And, well, cucumber just happens to be the favorite food of the tri-horned bunyip. And bubbles, followed by a swell, is what happens when they swim up to the shallows from deep water.
Well, it's kind of a creature I never even heard of, but it's kind of hard to believe. But, believe it or not, it's actually real, as they basically, actually the thing comes up right behind them. And I gotta admit, the design is pretty damn adorable.
Me? How about you and Pinkie Pie?
I think I can explain that too. Each one of you spent so much time trying to come up with the perfect way to get the others out of their element that you didn't notice your friends were doing the same thing.
Wait. You brought all those games and things for us?
So, yeah, so you can probably tell what I'm hinting at based on the different perspective. The whole story is basically a classic misunderstanding, where unlike those movie cliches where the lovers have this misunderstanding that lasts for the entire 3rd act, this actually focuses more on an entire episode, and it really does, and it really makes a lot of sense, because sometimes even the best of friends can have misunderstandings that'll cause them to fight and argue with one another. And it usually will take a while for them to try to get together and reconcile to figure out what exactly really happened. So, it's a classic misunderstanding story, but I think it's a misunderstanding story that, again, is a way I think for kids might be able to grasp and understand that there are going to be times where even the best of friends will have their really off days and they'll take it out on other people.
Of course! I figured the boat trip was the perfect time to do things that were silly at times. And I was just trying to give the 2 of you the elegant cruise I thought you deserved.
And I just wanted to give you 2 a high-seas adventure, since that'd be something new and different for y'all.
Oh! That's so sweet. You must have gone through so much trouble.
Well, not half as much trouble as you did making all that fancy food and bringing all those games.
I guess this just teaches us that even longtime friends need to work at communication. Well, there's something I'd like to communicate to you all right now. You girls are the best friends a pony could ever have.
It would be nice to have Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash in this episode, but I digress. But yeah, that's basically basically a really good message that there's going to be that long-term friends are going to have some miscommunications and misunderstandings, and sometimes the different perspectives can allow you to just think over what's common, and if you just sit down and talk about it, you'll be able to figure out what's going on, and you can be able to make up.
Oh, let's never fight again.
Come straight, Daddy. All right, you big softy. Bring it in.
God, this thing is so friggin' adorable.
Come on, put your fast heel. Got it.
The thing is a guy?
One thing's for sure, Spike. There's nothing like a luxurious adventure boat party to get you out of your element.
Yep. Alright, and with that was P.P.O.V, Pony Point of View, and as you can tell from the smile on my face, I freaking love this episode. There's just a lot of things I really enjoyed about it. The over-dramatization of the different three perspectives of the storytelling makes it pretty funny to see how each pony tells the same story. The commonalities of how you'll be able to kind of put it together, it's a little tricky to figure out, but once Twilight puts it together, it basically just all connects. And of course, the moral is really good. Basically saying that even the best of long-term friends can have issues with miscommunications, and it'll basically cause fractures within their friendship. Because even the best friendships can have their rough patches. But as long as you're willing to listen to their perspectives, as well as figure out what basically what their intentions are, you'll be able to see that they didn't really mean any harm. You basically just gotta learn to communicate, and even the best of friends can have rough patches. And this episode kind of takes more of a realistic approach of what friendships are like. They're very good, but even on some days, they can have their rough patches. So, honestly, there's not really much I can say, really. I mean, yeah, I'm sure once you hear the other stories, you can tell, oh, this is going to be the misunderstanding story. But again, it's the journey to the moral that makes it great. And honestly, there's nothing else I can really say. So overall, Pony Point of View, I'd probably say it's an A. Hey, again, it would be an A+ if not for the fact that, well, you could pretty much figure out where the story goes from then on. But yeah, Pony Point of View is an A. Alright, I did not think I'd be able to get to the last 4 episodes, but hopefully we'll be able to power through them, and hopefully I can save Season 7, because we're so close to getting there. Alright, so next time, I'm Flickane Gamer, and next time we will look at Where the Apple Lies. See you guys next time. Bye.